Hey, what's going on, guys? I hope you all are doing well today. Elliot here, and welcome back to The Fragrance Well. So it's time to do another compliment video, I figured, because we're rolling into that fall season. A lot of people are experiencing temperature changes. Still hot here in Florida, but it is cooling off a little bit. So we're rolling into that fall season, and frankly, I think it's one of the best times of the year to wear fragrances that garner compliments. So that's today's video. Fragrances that are good for the fall that can garner compliments. Now, remember, any fragrance most fragrances have the potential to garner compliments. Some just have a higher potential than others. And a lot of it also depends on how you carry yourself and present yourself. I've got 9 fragrances here that I think are good compliment getters for fall temperature style fragrances. Before we move on, remember to like the video, subscribe to the channel if you do like the content, and hit that bell icon so you can be notified when I upload new videos. Let's get into it. All right, first up, coming from the house of Tom Ford, we've got Oudwood. Tom Ford's Oudwood in my little 30 ml bottle. Ah, man. At the end of the day though, stuff still smells amazing. I've talked about how I like carved oud from Thameen better than this, but this is still a great fragrance. And boy, you just gotta love that combination of woods and spices that this fragrance has. Features a lot of cardamom, another bouquet of spices, if you will. It's kind of a blend. There's creamy sandalwood, of course there's oud, there's amber accords. One of the most popular fragrances from Tom Ford for a reason. A lot of people like to call it a good oud fragrance for those who are not quite used to oud yet. This one is an easygoing oud fragrance. I do agree. And more importantly, for this video, it definitely can garner compliments. It just smells so good in the air. I mean, you know, I can never get tired of this style of perfumery. So this one's always gonna be good for compliments and just good fragrance wearing in general. So once again, Tom Ford's Oudwood. Next up, from the house of Mancera, we've got Red Tobacco. Mancera's Red Tobacco. This one does, or should I say is known for having a bit of a tough opening for some people. But if you think about it, most people that you might come into contact with while you're wearing your fragrance are not gonna smell the opening. They're gonna smell it during the dry down, and the dry down of this is phenomenal. Starts off very, very spicy. I think it has a very strong saffron accord. That's what throws some people, but it really just dries down to this smooth, sweet, and rich tobacco fragrance. To me, this is a easy wear tobacco fragrance. Some tobacco fragrances, the tobacco can be a lot more forward, and this one is a little bit more reserved, a little bit more balanced, and it combines with that sweetness and spices that this fragrance has, and it just makes it smell phenomenal in the air. Great fall fragrance, great for potential compliments. Mancera's Red Tobacco. All right, next up from the house of Emporio Armani, we've got Stronger With You. Absolutely. Emporio Armani, Stronger With You, absolutely. So I have to give respectful nods to this fragrance, and in particular the Stronger With You line. Obviously, a lot of fragrance releases that come out today take inspiration from what this line did. This one has a nice chestnut accord, which is what the line is kind of known for, but this one introduces some booziness, some sweet boozy vanillic accords. Has a little bit of spice in it. I even pick up some chocolatey accords once you get a little bit deeper into the dry down. Fragrance smells great in the air. It's definitely a compliment garnering type of fragrance. Has that warmth that makes it good for those fall temperatures. I don't think you can go wrong with a scent like this, because obviously the DNA works, because everybody's trying to get their slice of the pie, in terms of designers that is. They're all trying to get their slice of the pie from this style of fragrance. So it obviously works, otherwise people wouldn't be buying it, and therefore they wouldn't be making it. So once again, from Emporio Armani, we've got Stronger With You. Absolutely. Next up, coming from the house of Jean Paul Gaultier, we've got Lamal Elixir. Jean Paul Gaultier's Lamal Elixir. Bit of a side note, this bottle looks gorgeous, but the paint on it is definitely cheap. It's already like chipping in a lot of areas, and I haven't done a lot to this bottle. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. The fragrance though, smells phenomenal. This is certainly one of my favorite designer releases of the year to this point, and this is probably my favorite Lamal. And kudos to Jean Paul Gaultier. They're very good at making positive attention fragrances, fragrances that can certainly garner compliments, and this one is no different. Again, has that warm, sweetness to it. Not a whole lot of spice in this one. You definitely got the lavender and the mint that is known for the Lamal DNA, at least the original Lamal DNA. This one also has a lot of benzoin, giving it kind of a dusty, resinous sweetness to it. But boy, this stuff is phenomenal. Smells really great in the air. Definitely has the potential to get you compliments and a really good fragrance for the fall temperatures as well. Once again, from Jean Paul Gaultier, we've got Lamal Elixir. Next up, from the house of Gerberoff, we have got 40 Knots. Gerberoff's 40 Knots. Now, there are some people who think that this fragrance is actually a little bit too rich for the warmer weather and they prefer to wear it in like the fall or the spring. Well, congratulations, we're going into that season. Now's the time to bring this out. I don't necessarily agree with that sentiment, but I do agree it definitely can also work in those temperatures. So this fragrance is an aquatic first and foremost, but it has some very rich ambery like accords in it. It also has this interesting honey accord that I think kind of lends to it being a good choice for when it cools off as well. And actually, I'm very interested to see how this fragrance wears in cooler temperatures. I've only had it during the summer months. And as it pertains to this video, that compliment factor I think is definitely there. When this dries down, once those kind of seaweedy, salty accords kind of tamper down a little bit, this fragrance just has a very nice sweet amberiness to it that can definitely garner some compliments. So once again, from the house of Gerberoff, we got 40 Knots. Okay, so from the house of Arabian Oud, we've got Madawi, the Gold Edition. Madawi Gold Edition. Gorgeous bottle, gorgeous fragrance. This right here, you're primarily going to get pineapple, red fruits, cardamom, and vanilla. The fragrance is just succulent. It is a very syrupy pineapple fragrance. You might think of this being a warm weather fragrance with notes like pineapple being the featured note, but because this is so syrupy and thick, it can work for the cooler months as well. And the fragrance just smells delicious. Definitely has the potential to garner compliments. For those who are familiar with Madawi Gold, you already know. Also very similar to Kajal's Lamar, where Lamar is not as thick and rich as this is, but kind of offers the same vibe, but lighter. Well, this is the thicker, syruppier version of that in my opinion, and therefore can work better for the cooler months if you want to go with something like that. So once again, from Arabian Oud, we've got Madawi, the Gold Edition. All right, next up, coming from the house of BDK Parfums, this is Gree Charnel Extrait. Gree Charnel Extrait. So if you know anything about Gree Charnel, it's kind of a popular fragrance in the community, particularly from this house. That is a fig fragrance, a very creamy fig fragrance. This one still has that creamy fig in here, but I think the fig takes a little bit of a backseat, and this is now a very boozy, creamy, almost fizzy vanillic fragrance. The fig is still there. It also has some iris kind of giving it this smoothness. I think the iris really comes out in the heart of the fragrance, but you get a lot of booziness from this fragrance, and boy, does it just smell delicious in the air. This is definitely one that has the potential to garner compliments. And it is also a delicious fragrance for the fall months in particular. I also think that if you thought Gree Charnel was a little too feminine, this one does beef it up just a little bit to give it a little bit more of a masculine edge, but it still sits pretty unisex to me. So it may not be for everyone, but it is a great fall fragrance and definitely a good compliment getter. Once again, from the house of BDK Parfums, this is Gree Charnel Extrait. Okay, next up, coming from the house of by Killian, Angel Share. By Killian, Angel Share. Look, those who already know. Just that warm, sweet, spicy, woody, somewhat smoky, nutty combination to die for. A very popular fragrance, one that has spawned a lot of clones to this point and probably will spawn more. It's the perfect fall fragrance in my opinions, particularly ones that can get compliments, because this one kind of puts you in the mood of the holiday season soon to come. It's right around the corner. At any point now, we're probably gonna start seeing Christmas commercials. You know they come before Thanksgiving now because Thanksgiving just doesn't count anymore. But that's neither here nor there. The fragrance is delicious, great compliment getter, great fall time fragrance. I'm sure this is one that a lot of people are looking forward to wearing as the temperatures drop. So once again, from the house of by Killian, we've got Angel Share. And last but not least, we're gonna go with one that has earned its stripes time and time again. From the house of Dolce & Gabbana, we've got the one, Eau de Parfum. Eau de Toilette works well, as well, but I got the Eau de Parfum. So, I mean, look, Considered by many to be one of the best designer fragrances ever created. Makes use of that cardamom and ginger combination, along with some tobacco in there and some ambry accords and a little bit of an orange-like vibe. Quintessential date night fragrance in my opinion. Also just a great wear in general for the fall temperatures. And those who already know that this is a compliment getter. I don't need to explain it to you. I can imagine this is gonna be one of those fragrances that 30 years down the line, we're still gonna see this one for sale. It's that good, it's that popular. People still love to wear it and people still buy it. Even if it's one that's talked about ad nauseum in the community and everybody kind of already knows about, you still just gotta give credit where credit is due sometimes. And this one certainly meets that bill. So once again, from the house of Dolce & Gabbana, this is the one, Eau de Parfum. Alright guys, that's gonna do it for this video. That was 9 fragrances that are great for the fall weather and great at getting compliments in the fall weather. Let me know down in the comments below, what's a fragrance you like to wear for the fall temperature months and one that might get you some compliments here and there. I appreciate you guys watching all the way into the end. Remember to be well and smell well, and I will see you in the next episode of The Fragrance Well. Have a good one.